Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Awesome. Just trying to figure out technology. There we go. Hey,
Hey.
John is en route. I know that we were just finishing up one a few moments ago, so I apologize for my state. It
Oh,
was
cool. I get both of you then.
indeed, you will. Yeah.
Oh, how awesome.
And where are you calling from?
Fargo, North Dakota.
North Dakota. My goodness. I haven't been out there since 2001. So it's been quite a while.
You guys got to come out here and play a show.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, the world's our oyster. I'd love to go wherever it takes me. So,
Yeah, we have an awesome death metal scene out here.
so yeah, it's been a very long time, and it was with a previous project because I've only been with Incantation since about '08. So when we were out, we did like about a 5 week run at the time. We did everything from New York to Cali and back, and it was, I think we hit everything except for Idaho and Montana for whatever reason. We didn't hit those two, but yeah, pretty cool. So how is it up there?
But it gets fucking cold.
I bet. I bet. Yeah, I'm in Philly, and right now, like things are pretty good, short sleeves and the like. But like, what's the temperature like out there?
Well, right now we're in a heat wave. It's 87. So
Oh, okay, that's a heat wave.
yeah, but in the winters it gets down to like I think the lowest it's been since I've lived out here is a negative 29 with like a negative 60 wind chill. Oh my God, it hurts when you step outside.
I do not want to experience that. That sounds horrible. Um, there was a many a time when I would be like fond of cold weather, but like anymore, maybe I'm just old, but like I can't deal with it anymore. It just hurts too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
and here comes John.
Oh, awesome.
You don't mind if I
By all means.
awesome. I got essentially chastised earlier for catching a smoke on an interview. They're like, "It's we're gonna put this online. Is that okay?" I'm like, "I don't care what you do."
Yeah, I don't care. No censorship here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wish I had a joint to smoke right now. I
Sure,
can't
why
really
not?
smoke in my place, but oh well.
Yeah, yeah, there's a first time for everything.
Might get charged a bit.
Oh, really? Too fun.
Yeah, they're a bit strict when it comes to that. Hey,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hello.
Sorry about the last one, dude.
Ah,
I tried, man. I tried. I just couldn't get through it. Like we got all
um,
kinds of rain and traffic and everything, and it just got.
I'm
It got
just, yo, Chuck, come on, get with it.
I know.
Show some initiative.
All
Jesus
right.
Christ. Jesus H fucking Christ.
All right. Let's show some initiative. Ooh, look who's home.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. Just drink all your troubles away.
Yeah. See, when I fail, I just continue to dig the ditch a little deeper, and
oh, I can tell this is going to be a really
Something.
fun interview.
Yeah,
there's
just love teasing each other.
it's constant. Yes. So,
So what's
Yeah,
up?
well, you know what? I feel like the right thing to do would be to open this interview with an incantation, death metal style.
brilliant.
Okay.
So let's create an incantation for world peace with death metal.
A nuclear holocaust. Because the human equation will always dictate that we are going to just fight one another. So if you want world peace, just wipe it out. Like a 50 megaton will probably do it.
Yeah, probably if we just did no one exists, it would be a pretty peaceful Earth.
Oh yeah, it's like traffic. It's just for the other drivers. You'd be fine. So just like wipe out every driver, and you'll be fine. No more accidents. No more none of it.
Kind of what's going on in the world right now, anyway.
Uh, I live in a bubble. I'd rather not know.
Right? Just stick to death metal. Oh my God. Like your album was so needed. Like I oh it just helps with life to hear death metal, especially so brutal. Like it's amazing.
That's cool. Thank you for your words.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so like the album art is really cool because it's like not a defined like image. It's definitely art. So my first question is, how do you interpret what the artist created with unholy deification
So,
or
um,
deification? Am I pronouncing this correctly?
deification, it's semantics. The thing is that the cover in and of itself is a matter of like the culmination of the concept. So it is an alkalite that is transcending from a mortal to a celestial, and it's all the elements of ritual magic that you'll find throughout the 10 chapters of the album. When it when it's complete and the homunculus is created to where this is the vessel in which this new god is going to exist in, how do you put that into a visual? You're going to have all your aspects of demonology, whether it be like claws and tail and wings and horns and hooves and stuff like that. But it can never be fully defined. So that's why it's a little bit more amorphic. It has like an intangible quality to it because it's not supposed to exist in at least in the mortal sense. All of the people that are transcending through it, it's the matter of like this this alkalite that doesn't want to exist with or subsist on like ethics and belief anymore. It wants to transcend that to be the very thing that is worshipped, gravened, idolized, sacrificed to. And because it's like in stark contrast to all the different religions that already exist, that it is the embodiment of evil, and you must go through it in order to reach oblivion. So it essentially is just laying everything to waste. Here, how's that for a world peace? It's killing everything.
I love it.
But it's killing it twice because it kills you mortally, but then it also kills your soul too in the process. So, yeah. So that's what the imagery is, and it was translated so very well with Eller and Cantor because like he's the artist. I mean, we throw the ideas at him, and then he culminates it into an actual piece that's cohesive and has a particular flow and everything. That's why he is the artist, at least in that medium, and we are not. And he did an exceptional job.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, do you know if he did it with acrylics or oil or pastels or?
To be honest, I really don't know. I know that he had mentioned in passing at one point, but I can't recall right now.
Okay. And I know that you Chuck like wrote the lyrics, and I read that there was like you wrote 10 chapters
Yes.
of it. So there's more to it than just all the lyrics then, correct?
Yes, I mean, when you well, I mean, I guess I've been repeating myself when it comes in regards to this question is that the way that it's presented as such is that the music demanded it to flow in that particular manner. So they are out of order. We provided the option of the Roman numerals in order for somebody that wants to dig deeper into this concept that you can put it sequentially and then you can follow it on its particular course. It's like listening to the album in two different forms. When you're reading along with it, you'll find the particular stages, but they don't necessarily have to be in order unless you deem it necessary for your own interest. um it is all of the different elements as you go. When we made the first video Concorded, that is the alkalite calling the spectral guide in order to transcend. That's why the mixing of their bloodletting of the mortal blood and then the spectral blood, that it creates a double helix, which is the building blocks of life. So it is that first infinitesimal point that grows into the cover that you see. So that's pretty much how it goes.
Okay.
That
That was very eloquent.
I use a lot of big words.
Yeah, a lot of $5 words. What
$5.
inflation? It's $10, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the price is going up everywhere.
Right? Oh my God. Fucking ridiculous now.
Yeah, yes.
It's pretty
But
tragic.
like with it, concordant like that video. I was gonna ask about it anyway. It's really cool. Like it's so dark too. Like how did the initial like the imagery of it like spark in your mind like to manifest to it, you know,
I
this.
mean, obviously I wanted to make sure that the elements of the song were incorporated within it, but it was not just it wasn't just a solo effort. Like we all had our part to input into it. And I remember that one of the things that Kyle actually put into it, and it was a perfect way to translate the imagery, was having a dirty film grain kind of feel like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but also the film Begotten, like where it is like just nightmare visuals, you know what I mean? And adding the elements of the alkalite, and using the sigil work, and then using the chalice in order to do the bloodletting and stuff, but then still having that spectral entity in the background. It emulates like the grainy, film grain sepia is definitely, Kyle's input. uh Elements would have been my own, for at least for the story aspect of it, but then also the flow of the music itself has to have something to complement it visually as it progresses. And that was actually all of us as well. I mean, Kyle added the elements of using John's shadows during the last vocal sequence, that the echoing is actually the reverberation of what that spectral entity is then repeating to himself. And it's kind of cool because it's a series of dialogue that happens that you'll even see their mouths move in accordance to it as John's singing.
Yeah, it was cool the way the Coin, which is the company that made the video for us, really took all the ideas and he just put them together in a great way that just has the right vibe. I mean, when we've seen it, we were really impressed with how well they're able to take all the pieces that everybody put into, or told them, and what they came out with was just phenomenal. I mean, we felt really good when we were there working with them. They really seemed to have their they knew how to achieve what they were looking for. And it just it just came out great. I was really happy with it because we really wanted to make sure that it had a very I don't know, kind of grainy retro vibe, because I think that really accents the vibe of the song and stuff. And they just did an amazing job, a wonderful job of putting it all together.
I mean, we worked like lightning too. Brian and his crew, we were able to complete two like performance sequences for performance sequences for two independent videos in a day.
Yeah.
And they took all of the liberties through the notes that they had created, and did all of like the acting portions and the merger between the two and the editing that goes with it. I'm actually floored how well they work. And we were completely ignorant to a lot of the acting process stuff until it was even edited into the video. And when we saw it, it was that there wasn't really anything to edit, at least on our end. We were just like, wow, I didn't expect that. And it just kind of threw us off guard.
They translated our concepts, or Chuck's concepts mostly, but all of ours to some extent, in such a great way. Like I said, once we've seen it, we're just like, oh wow, that's like pretty much perfect, for what we need, which was really, really awesome, because it's a scary thing to like leave all this stuff in someone's hands to film, and then you like have no idea what you're going to get back, and then you see it. It's easily could have been a disaster, but they just knew how to put it together. They really listened to the concept, paid attention to the concept, and did a great job. Just did a great job.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, especially even for the second video, it was kind of running down to the wire, and I wasn't exactly sure what that footage was going to look like, because we were kind of like in the dark on that one as well. But it's not, I can't really say in the dark, because it was that they were working on it, is what they were doing.
Yeah.
So when it finally did surface, I started laughing. I mirrored it to my TV, and I'm just laughing because it's like your brain is now on the TV looking back at you. and it was just so weird because I was like, that's exactly what I would have done. I was like, yeah, that too. I was like, oh fuck, like there's nothing to say. It's like, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Next.
it had to have been extra special for Chuck because I mean, for us, obviously, it's great. It's we all contributed to the music and stuff, so of course, it's great to see well done. But for Chuck coming up with the concept of the whole album and seeing it come to life like that had to have been extra special, even more special than it was for the rest of us.
I'm just hoping that it's perceived in the same way that we, created it. Uh, I think that musically speaking, we all contribute in such a fashion that when we hear it back, it's probably the same way. Yeah, you just kind of laugh at it because you can recall exactly like moments of when it was being built upon or tracking it or things like that. And the same is, for the other elements that all make this album what it is, whether it be the art or the lyrics or the music or the equipment that we use or, how we approach a song. It's all of it combined, but it's a joy. Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's like I guess like any artist, musically, it's nice to see throw all these pieces together to try to make a final album as a piece of art, and to hear it back and to hear it come out the way you were hoping or better than you were hoping is a super awesome feeling as a someone that creates music.
Yeah, now the second video that you're talking about, that one is for Invocation, correct?
Indeed. Yep.
That video is awesome as well.
That is the culmination of everything because those two videos in particular are the first and the last chapters. So the last chapter is now that people are worshiping this god in idolized forms. And if you watch the video, you can see them through all different periods of time worshiping this god. That it only took that alkalite at that one particular moment to become that deity, and then time becomes nonlinear, that it had always been there.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it now that you've told me all of this. It's so fascinating. Like it's
we
amazing.
put yeah, we put a lot of work in. Well, I mean, obviously, we put a lot of work into every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Lyrically, musically,
Oh,
production wise, and everything. It's not like we just threw together a bunch of songs and you know just put out an album kind of thing. We really take time into trying to make sure the details in whatever we're trying to express in the songs or whatever, yeah, just want to express in the songs are expressed the best way possible. Like every aspect for us is very important, from the writing stages to the video, having the video come out the way we want it to and stuff. It's all very important, and we try to be as hands-on as possible without hindering people's talent, like other people's talent. Like you don't want to over take control of the artwork, or you don't want to overtake control of the video, because you have to trust in the people that you're working with, that they can do their job properly. And in this case, everyone pretty much did their job great. So it's really awesome to have from like point A till the release of the album, everybody really stepped up, and it just came together. I mean, pretty much perfectly.
yeah. I mean, it was one of the smoothest processes, to be honest, actually, in almost all of its forms.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to all of those that were involved. I mean, not just ourselves, but it's that every person that had applied their talent, was kind of seamless, felt that way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask about the song "The Chalice" because that one is probably one of my most favorites that I've heard on it. But so this first part anyway, is directed towards you, Don, because it being the guitar. So when you were writing like the riffs and stuff, like how did those, like especially the opening riffs for it, how did that manifest, and then like lyrically, how did it all come together as well?
Well, I mean, that what was it? Chalice and Offering were the first two songs that I came up with. The basic, like we'll say the skeleton structure of the song, and I actually started writing those immediately after. Well, yeah, immediately after the tracking for a Sect of Vile Divinity. So those songs are written in like, was it November of 2019? Maybe Chalice was early 2020. I can't remember exactly, but I remember I got right into writing mode because I was just really inspired, because each album, like I always say, is a reaction to the last album that we did. It's an answer to it. And even though I was happy with the Sect of All Divinities, and I think it ended up being a good album, at the time of tracking it, I was very frustrated, and I felt like some of the more barbaric aspects of our sound and some of the chaotic aggression might have got a little bit lost in translation on Sect. And I really felt like I need to express that aspect of just my personal expression musically. So I went right into like writing some of the more aggressive stuff, and that was one of them. And it was simply like just a personal feeling like, we did this album with Sect of All Divinities, and I'm happy with it, but I do feel like it was missing a little bit of something. And it was like I just had this urge. I had to like almost like make it right for myself, like correct something that I missed. And yeah, and it all flowed very very, it was just just came right out of me, like the songs. I mean, most of the songs do these days. Like I usually just get into a vibe of like what I'm trying to express with the song, and I just try to translate those expressions to music. And with that one, it was just, it has a very I don't know, even though it's not juvenile, it has a juvenile way about it where it's just like it's it brought me back to early days of writing where you just have this pent up energy where you just want to tell the world, fuck you, fuck everybody. And that was the thing that when writing that song was just like, I just wanted to, you know, express that piss and vinegar that, is important to have when playing this kind of music. And it's very easy for bands to lose that over the years, but for um, some reason I'm very happy about it is that we haven't lost that piss and vinegar in our will to want to do this, because we're not necessarily interested in the trend aspect of music. It's more, this is just us. We're doing the music we want to do in our way, and we want to, whatever we do, we want it to be an expression of, whatever we feel like expressing at the moment, or expression of ourselves. And that was exactly the mindset. And when I listened to was it Chalice, it just I feel that energy, that urgency, which is really a great feeling when playing something, to feel like you're like, yes, yes,
Yeah,
it's like
I know what you
there's,
mean.
it's like there's a rebellion, there's a thing where you're just saying like, this, I'm going for it, motherfuckers, and it's like you either like it or you don't, but we feel comfortable. This is like, we want to push ourselves. We don't want to just stay in the comfort zone. We don't want to be in that safe area musically. We want to keep pushing ourselves to new levels of aggression and just expression.
When I first heard that song come in, I was like, damn, dude, that's hyper violent. It's brutal. And there's 1.5 billion changes in it. And it reminded me of Revenant, where it is just, again, the fires of youth, right? So you had that just, rage going, and I was like, this is fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? And tracking it rather difficult.
Yeah.
Little bit mad at you for that one, but definitely a very powerful song, and one that's actually key to the album, at least in my opinion.
And
It feels like a foundation. I
when
mean, it's the same reason why we use grit and dirt and everything else, is because the grit and dirt and everything started with that too. That when you hear that, it's like it's rage inducing. It's powerful. It has dynamics and ways that it can maneuver. Like, I mean, the work I'm sorry, I almost said his name, Luke put over top of the chord progression portions. Ugh, yeah, it's great. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great song. I love that.
and for anyone that doesn't know, the Revenant's the band I played in before I did Incantation when I was really young, and in that band, there definitely the band was all piss and vinegar,
Oh
like
yeah.
we just like we were just trying to figure it all out, but we just knew that we were pissed about it. So, but yeah, and but the good thing about said offering and Chalice both being two of the earlier songs, I think it really set I don't know if it's a standard, but just a basic vibe for everybody to really go for it with it. Like it just showed right off the bat that you know my mindset was like, you know, just it's all out assault, and everybody, I think just was happy that because that's a great feeling to feel that aggression and that hunger and that vibe, and I think it gets like addictive, like other people
Oh
are,
yeah.
are like, yeah, hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's fuck
Yeah.
shit up, like it's just
Sure.
almost a mob mentality or something.
Yeah. It really did. It's like, once that first thing just gets lit, everything else just starts turning into an inferno, and everybody's like, yeah, and it was great. And yeah, I truly value that song a lot. It was challenging, and now, you know, it's well, going for it. It works. Um, shall I mention anything conceptually at this given moment? Do you have anything else to add?
Me?
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't
No,
sure if I cut you off or something.
no, I'm good.
Um, consanguineous is of the same blood, and that's actually within the song itself, of one blood, right? It's just a $12 word. Um,
Inflation.
inflation. Baker's dozen, it's a $13 word. But the thing is that um they would talk about wand and chalice, so it'd be like, phallic and vaginal, like aspects, right? So the chalice is, yes, and it's all of the female qualities that needed to be translated into making that homunculus, that it's the thing that gives birth to the homunculus, and that's what chalice is about. So it's every single aspect of feminine qualities, or patriotical, or even maternal, like goddesses, all put into one thing. And they essentially gestate the homunculus. So you have everything from, like, sirens and witches, and take what you will, you know what I mean? So it's like every single female quality is put within that song. And they used to say that in magic speaking, that female qualities were always considered as severe, and it certainly is a severe song. So I think it adds to it well. They complement one another, I should say, and it pushes forth that next chapter of just rage and going for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes you feel some rage. Like, probably
Cool.
why I love it so much.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Death metal is amazing for just life. That's what I'll leave it at. But you also have the closing track, Circle. Since John, you mentioned Revenant, like it features Henry. formerly of Revenant, and then it also features Jeff Becerra from Possessed and Dan from Morbid Angel. So like with that song, how did everything manifest to have all of those like just I mean it's a legendary song already because you have like not only you, but you have like legendary artists in it as well.
Well, I mean, the song basically when we were putting the lyrics to the song, it just the idea came up to have the middle part be more of like a multi-vocal part, like a chant kind of vibe to it. So, I ended up just thinking about it and it was like, well, maybe we could find some either friends or influences or something to contribute to that part more as a you know a, I don't know, personal thing or like a cool thing for us and not necessarily like we didn't want to over exploit the situation, but we thought it would be cool to be able to have contributions of something that's meaningful, not just a guest vocalist for a guest vocalist's sake, but like like having Jeff Pizzera, for instance. I mean, he's basically death metal square one, so to have him involved on our album, he's a person that without his contribution to music, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. So to have that be part of it was very special. And then the Henry Vegian contribution obviously was important because Henry was the one that gave me the opportunity to join Revenant, and I learned so much from my time in Revenant, and it basically prepared me for starting Incantation. So I have, a debt, to or like a lot of gratitude for Henry Vegian and his influence on me early on. So that was very important to have in there too. And then having Dan Ladavon, he's been filling in on bass for us on tour when Chuck can't do touring sometimes because of his job. So it just felt good because he's doing a great job live. He's really kicking ass and stuff. And it's like, well, opportunity came up for him to be on the album. Why the hell not have him on the album? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he
like,
earned it.
yeah, he earned it for sure by doing a great job. And it was like a no-brainer to have him on it too. And then it's not listed as a guest vocalist, but also Luke's in the mix too. Guitar player Luke is also on vocals in that part, and myself. So it's just basically it's almost like a homunculus of members or whatever on
Fair
that
enough.
song.
That's an accurate description.
But no, and it's cool, and I mean, the song is a very more doomy or somber song, but it's definitely definitely a good closer for it. And I think the chanting part, in the middle of it kind of brings it up a little bit, like almost is like I wouldn't say the highlight, but like it's the most upbeat part of the song, I guess we'll say, so it kind of has like a little peak there, I guess, then it goes, basically eventually back to totally somber and no hope, and we're all fucked kind of vibe.
Yeah, you're all beat. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that middle section, how it breaks into, you can feel that chant. I know I probably haven't expressed this before, but it's that plodding, marching, crushing as it goes kind of thing, and having that buildup of all of the gang vocal portion, it really is more impactful that way. I mean, aside from just name dropping and things like that, which was never the intent, as John said, they're all very influential. I mean, we all listen to Possessed. I mean,
Yeah.
how could you not? So with that, having that applied to that particular song, if it wasn't written, you might not even notice. But that's what the song demanded, and I think it came off fantastically. And
I was really happy when I heard everybody's vocal parts for it, because it there's just different ways of doing vocals and different tones, and it really helps to have that, you know, it's like it adds an extra little color palette to that part of the vocal area. Because I mean, Jeff Pizzara's voice is very distinctive, but also Henry Vegian has like a very different style of doing vocals than I do. So it sounded really great to have that kind of, just have a different sound to it, and like I said, everyone's contribution really added to the color of that part, which I think is great.
So here's a question about like the ascent from mortal to celestial, like throughout the journey of this entire album, like through recording, writing, the whole process, and even listening back to the album for the first time, like what would you say are like most monumental parts to each of you, like that for the transitioning, I guess you could say, if that makes any sense. I had this like in my head go perfectly, and then speaking
I
it
know
did
how
not
that
go
goes.
as perfectly.
I have the same
Are you
problem.
saying like a specific element
like
that
like
we that we that we value
yeah,
with like within the album itself, you mean, correct?
yeah, like within the journey, like your most favorite, I don't want to say like
Favorite part of the
favorite
journey?
moment, but
Favorite part of the journey. Okay. All right.
yeah, the most monumental, like throughout, like writing, recording, just the entire process and listening back to it. Like,
So I
or what was that one part that like made you feel the most, and what part of the ascent from mortal to celestial do you feel like it resonates within you the most?
You mean metaphysically or actual like physically?
All of the above.
Okay, so I would say sorry, I didn't mean the hesitation. The There's something that I think that both John and I can would wholeheartedly agree with. This is that the writing is seamless and fluid. And if I was to choose a particular moment, I know that I have repeated this on numerous occasions, in and outside of interview situations, because it's that instantaneous inspiration that we all share with one another when that it just works, is probably the best way to put it into terms. That there was a time when John had a riff, I had a riff, and one I think that was like floating. And Kyle came out and he says, do something with this. Has anything actually been done with it? And at that given moment, nothing per se. So the three of us sat around, and in a matter of minutes, like literal minutes, we were able to present a completed product that we brought and retablatured and brought back to Kyle. And when he applied to it, it was only minutes and it was done. And it's exactly how you hear it. And that was the song Invocation. That hadn't happened since the song Vanquish and Vengeance. And it was John and myself and Kyle, of course, and Alex. So there was the four of us at that given moment, to where I had an idea for something that I didn't really know how to apply it to, but it was of a completely different nature. It was originally intended to be a doom riff. And again, it's a matter of perspective, because when John heard it, he goes, I think it'd be better if it was faster. And that is what the beginning of Vanquish and Vengeance is. It's the same kind of ideas, that if you're sitting amongst and around people that have the same influence, the same director, the same motivation, the same fire to write like that, it just goes. And those two songs in particular, throughout the 15-year tenure, those two songs in particular actually are paramount to me, because no matter how they're perceived, whether they're positive, negative, or whatever, the thing is I remember that it took us a matter of minutes with four brains and brought it from nothing. And now we have what we have. I mean, forever. I mean, not to sound like melodramatic, but it echoes in eternity, right? Like, no, I'm not quoting Gladiator, but it's like, it does though. It's like radio waves in space. It goes on forever. you know, it's impressive, at least in my perspective, you know, and those two are very important to me.
Yes, writing process is always is a magical experience anyway, because you're basically pulling something out of nothing and it just kind of happens, you know? And yeah, to be able to do it with you know, a, a full band of people and have everybody pull together and toss in their ideas and everybody be very selfless on it, and just give into what's best for the song. It's crazy because in this case, with Invocation, like Chuck says, it was so quick to happen, and it wasn't like we weren't even trying to do it so fast, but the parts just, it was like they were just appearing out of thin air. Like, let's try this. Someone come up with an idea. Let's try that. Let's try this. Before you know it, it's done. And it's like, holy crap. It's like, it sounds killer. And it's like,
Wow.
It's everyone's, it's like barely any fucking brain power almost, it's just like, cause it all just was like, just came. It's like, it's almost like, painting on a canvas and just being like, okay, okay, hey, you want to throw something in there? Throw something in there, okay, and like have another person come in, throw something in there, and then at the end of it, you're like, wow,
Huh.
it wasn't what I was expecting necessarily, but holy crap, that's cool,
It's done.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's done. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That kind of those two moments in particular, I don't think I'll ever forget them. But yeah, there's a different moment too. But it's like, I think I'll probably revisit this in years from now and remember, perhaps like the touring cycle of how we translated to the stage and how the people reacted and things of that nature. I'm looking forward to it. See what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live sometime and listening because I've never seen you live before. I I hope you come out to Fargo sometime soon.
Now, where are you from? Fargo?
Yeah, yeah. I used to be in Denver, but now I'm in Fargo. So
No. Yeah.
yeah.
Fargo's tough to
Also,
get
is
out that
60
way.
below there, right?
What's that?
It's also 60 below up there, right?
The wind chills didn't get that low.
Hopefully not now.
No, now it's pretty warm right now. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this amazing interview. It's been so much fun.
Thank you for
Well,
having us.
thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, it's so awesome to interview, like, probably gonna fangirl out like a legendary death metal band. So so super, super excited about it. So and thank you for your amazing answers too.
Well, thank you again, and I hope that we actually end up seeing you out there. It'd be great.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and all the best to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you as well.
Okay, take care. Thank
Take
you.
care now.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.